We are live, we are live, we are live, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are back. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live tonight on IG and YouTube. I have returned from my birthday weekend. Yes, indeed. And what a birthday weekend it was. Yes, as I said, I would let you know on what I did. A few all-inclusive. Shout out to my man Alan with regards to Crave. He did a fantastic job there. It was a wonderful, wonderful day on Saturday. And then Sunday was a double bill. We had the Revelers Escape party that happened on the Saturday evening, which was a very, very hot evening to say the least. Not only in weather, but also in temperature, especially with the ladies. That was fantastic. Thank you very much for Jamal McGlure and Toronto Revelers, my band, who I'll be playing with at Caravan this year. And more pictures to come with that, actually. And yeah, that was very, very well done. And then the evening, we had the all white, of course. Let me say this about Toronto. Let me say this about this city right here. I want everybody to pat on me for this. This city has some of the more beautiful ladies in North America. And it's listen, don't take my word for it. Take every rapper, take every basketball player, take every professional athlete, whoever breezes through here, and it's true. Toronto has some of the more beautiful ladies out there in North America on a regular basis. And I saw most of them, if not all of them, on Sunday night. Shout out to Junior Jones. Junior Jones did a fantastic night, a fantastic soiree at the All White this week, and that was really, really well done. And nearly slept through it, but I got there. I did get there around 12:30, and then partied the rest of the night away, and that was really, really cool. If you saw how I parked, then you would know that I took the law into my own hands for a bit there. But hey, it was all well and good. And we are back, and we are live here on Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We have returned, and we are getting back to this subject. Oh, let me say this. I hope you had a great long weekend. I hope you have a great 4th of July. Shout out to my American friends out there who may be watching. It is their holiday today, so happy 4th of July to them. Happy Canada Day to those who celebrated here as well. Well, you had to celebrate here if you're a Canadian. But around the world, I hope you had a great weekend, a great long weekend for us. I know in the States it's not so much of a long weekend, but they get their day off today. And yes, it is hope they have a great 4th of July weekend. And we are back, and we are live. Yes, I did a little shopping as well. Got some what's this, roasted bunny. Anyways, what's that new thing here? Oh my God, now you got me going here. Hold on, I'm just gonna check on this to see where I'm here. Roasted bunny or something. Clothing brand. Is it Roasted Bunny or is it now? Oh, Psycho Bunny. There it is. Bang. Okay. Yes, indeed. It was Psycho Bunny. Yes, I went to Yorkdale, did a little shopping, got some little Psycho Bunny here. I am back and I am live. Going back live on YouTube. There I am. And yeah, it was a really, really cool place. I'm starting to take to this thing. It's getting hot in the streets, so I did a little shopping. Of this and a few other things as well that will be worn out on these streets a little later. But still, we are still sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. I just spoke to the owner of Duntalk, and she says that more summer fashions that I can debut here on Talk Live will be on the way. So, looking forward to doing that a bit later. So, let's just get back to it. Let's get into it. We are here on Talk Live, and we're discussing this certain topic of what it takes for a traditional man to be traditional financially. That is, in this time in which there's high inflation, we just want to get to the numbers. We want to crack numbers with a few gentlemen and with you ladies, just to understand what it takes to be a traditional man these days. So we decided to pull this show together and to show who, not only that, but who wants a traditional man, because that is on the rise these days. It definitely is on the rise as to women who want traditional men, not only in terms of appearance, not only in terms of mannerism, not only in terms of personality, not only in terms of protection and provision, but also they want a man who is able to provide financially, of course, first and foremost. So we are going to discuss it tonight. And who better to discuss it with than, let's just get to the screensaver, the browser here. My man, Mr. Medium Man. Medium Man, let me tell you something. He is blowing up on these YouTube streets these days, and he is bringing the fire for everyone who will listen. And it's not only something for us men to look back at and enjoy, and also to learn from, but also for you ladies out there. And he recently did this clip of a show that I wanted to feature today, which is being a masculine wife has nothing to do with going 50-50 when married, but within it comes the idea of the show, which is how you can be. What a man must have to be a traditional man in this day and age, especially in North America, especially in the United States, especially in Canada. So we're going to go through it right now. Medium Man, it's going to be a shorter show today, but again, we're going to try and keep it within the hour mark, and we're just going to go with it and do what we do here on Talk Talk Live. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live, sponsored by DunTalk, DUNTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And I did meet a lot of friends out there before I start the show. Thank you very much for all those people who shouted me out this weekend, on long weekend, and gave me praise and gave me thanks for what I have done so far and what I will be doing, and continued support. So thank you very much for that. But here we go with Talk Talk Live, sponsored by DunTalk, DUNTALK.com. Let's go.
There was a lot of pushback because I told guys $50,000 is not enough to raise a family. I'm trying to get you guys to understand that I'm going to post my old video that I did where I did a breakdown of how much a household costs from, however many people you have in it. So $50,000 to support a wife and a kid is not enough. The average is around $87,000 for a household to raise a kid. And
just going back to that just quite quickly, yeah, he's hitting it right off the bat. Right here. In the United States, the average person's income, is $63,000. And the median income, the average personal income is $63,000. And the median income across the country is being at $44,225. Real wages averaged at $67,521 in 2022. Average household income $87,864. So basically, it takes you about $87,864 to be in that range to carry on a family on your own. So basically, what's 80,000? Let's get to it. So 87,000 American dollars, right? So let's break that down. 87,000. Just a second. There we go. 87,864 in Canadian dollars. Yes, indeed. So that's $111,192.67. Let me repeat that. So to carry on a household in the United States, you need 87,000 American earned to be, quote unquote, a high value man / man in trading / traditional man who can carry the load for a family. So therefore, start a college fund for your kids, pay all bills, go on vacation once or twice a year, and be relatively at comfort and at peace with your lifestyle and with the family. Now, again, this does not allow for a huge family. Again, you're not going to have 6 or 7 or 8 kids at $87,000 a year because then you'll be living near the poverty line. But if you have a nuclear family of 1 or 2 kids, then $87,864 should be sufficient. But in Canadian dollars, we're talking about $116,192. Now, again, let's say in British pounds. Let's go there. Let's go in British pounds. British pounds. There we go. So that's about $52,000 if you average down. So again, remember, pound sterling is worth more than the American dollar, which is worth more than the Canadian dollar. So 52,244 for a family living in the UK. So again, still mighty hill to climb. Now you'd think that, oh, that's not too much, but again, in the UK, where everything is relatively expensive because of inflation, because everything has to be literally imported outside of the for the most part outside of the UK, especially in terms of produce, in terms of foodstuffs and such, then yeah, it can be a bit steep. Then you're fighting to make ends meet. Again, you can go to euros, which is about comparable. It's about 54 to 55,000 euros. So there you go. For the Western world, you're looking at about 87,000 American, 116,000 Canadian, 52,000 UK pounds, and about 55, 56 euros. Let me see. 86 in euros. Let's go there. In euros. Yes. Yes. No. 87 US dollars. USD in euros. There we go. US dollars. Oh my gosh. Come on, guys. Get it together here. Come on. Did not match. Okay, let's do this then. Unbelievable. But we're gonna go there. In US dollars into let me see. EU euros. There we go, 61,000. There we go. My mistake. So in euros, they were talking about 61,000. So that's the rest of Europe. So that is basically most westernized countries. That's what you need in order to earn 61,000 euros, 55,000 UK pounds, about 119 Canadian dollars, and 87,864 US dollars. Now, who earns that amount? Well, I would say only the top 10-15% of them. Let's go there. Who earns $864,000? Let me see. 864. Who earns 87864? What percentage of a population? So let's go there. $87864 US dollars. Let's see. Oh, you put two D's, but anyways. There we go. So, let me see. The Bureau of Labor Statistics. Okay, let's go there. What percentage of American households earns over 75K? So, let's see. We're looking at about, there we go. Highest percentage of Americans, 16.5% of Americans have an income between, 60.5%. Okay, so within the second highest percentage of those making those 75. Okay, so you're looking at, as I said, to 100 to 115, 100 to 149 and above, you're looking at 15%. So you're looking at about 16%, 16% of Americans. So a quarter of Americans earn that amount. 1/4. And I would say the same thing for Canadians. How much Canadians earn? I would say about, I would consider that a little lower. I would say about 10%. I would say about 10%. Let me see. Let's go there. Because we have to crunch the numbers here, people. We're crunching the numbers here on Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me. And let me see. Earns, let me see. What percentage of the Canadian population earns more than 100K? So what percentage of the Canadian population earns more than $100,000? Let's see there. 11%. 11%. So the top, let's consider it. Let's cut it off. Let's take a percentage point off of there. The top 10% earns more than $100,000. Top 10%. Top 15% earns about 87,000 US dollars. And I'm sure it's about the same. Let's go there. I'm willing to go there. What percent of the UK population earns more than $52,000? I'm willing to go there. So the top 10% earns UK population. Let's go there. Yeah, we're crunching numbers here, people. We are crunching numbers. What earns more than $52,000? Oh, let's call it 50. Let's call it even $50,000. Let's see. So let me see. Let's see. Not $50,000. I'm sorry. 50,000 pounds. Let's go. Sorry, my bad. Let's see. There we go. Let me see. For the UK, how many people in the UK make over 50K? 6.56 million. So we're looking at about top 20%. So it's a bit more egalitarian in the UK. You need to be in the top 20%. So top 20% in the UK, top 50% in the US, top 10% in Canada. And I'm sure it's the same way in terms of euros as well. So you're of the top percentage points. So again, it is very difficult for so the conclusion that we come to as we go back to my man, Medium Man, is it is very difficult, and I mean extremely difficult, for a person of average education to make $87,864 US a year, 116,000 Canadian a year, 52,000. 116,000 Canadian a year, 87,000 US a year, and 52,000 from the UK. 52,000 pounds UK per year. So you are of the top 20% UK, top 15% in the US, and top 10% in Canada. Which makes you in very, very esteemed company. Very esteemed company. And it's only getting worse every day, especially at the rate of inflation, especially at the prospect of jobs being lost in this economy. So, I'll let my man continue with this as we move forward.
A kid and support a wife as a husband. So that's why I said $50,000 is not enough. For you, yes, you can live off $50,000 very comfortably, I might add. But if you're trying to take on a wife and you're trying to have a kid, you're going to need to earn more if you plan on being the provider of the household in a traditional marriage.
You said it right there. If you are to earn to be a traditional man, if you are supposed to be a high-value man, if you're supposed to be a breadwinner in any family, you need to earn at least $87,000 US per year. That puts you into the top 15% of all earners. Men, women, gay, straight, whatever. Black, white. Top 15%. Also, for Canada, adjusted for Canada, you need to earn $116,000 and change per year to be considered a high-value traditional man these days. Or woman these days. To carry a family on that budget these days. That puts you into the top 10%. In the UK, you need to earn £52,000 per year. That puts you into the top 20%. So you are in an esteemed company if you earn that amount. So, as will be divulged by Media Man here today, and thank you very much for joining me in Talk Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. As divulged by Media Man, you must be of the elite to carry a family on your own. Chanel's already jumped in. She says, but most men want full control if they pay for everything. Yes, they do. And they deserve it. They deserve it. If you earn, let's take for Canada, Chanel. If you earn $116,000 a year, do you deserve to call the shots? To run a family? To make decisions for that family? I'd say so. My dad was one of those people. My dad was one of those people. I'm soon to be one of those people. And believe me, if I worked hard enough to build myself up into the person that I am today, darn right I deserve to call the shots. Yeah. Because my family depends on me. So the decisions I make, the protection I provide, and the provision I give for that family to live a comfortable life allows for me to make decisions for that family, allows for me to have a wife at home who will cater to myself. And believe me, remember ladies, this man is not only on your radar, he's on most other radars. Take it from me. From personal experience, he's on a lot of other ladies' radars. But again, pay the cost to be the boss. However, is a woman willing to do that for a man? That remains to be seen. For the most part, they won't. They won't. Women don't build, they move in. For the most part. They don't build, they move in. So it remains to be seen in this age of feminism and modern women if women are willing to carry a man. And for the most part, they don't. They've already shown to themselves within the last 20, 30 years, now that women are earning more and more these days, that they aren't willing to find a man who earns less than them. They want somebody who earns as much, if not more than them. That's what's called hypergamy. Because a woman does not wish to earn 116,000 Canadian, 87,000 American, 52,000 UK pounds. And say, oh, I'm going to support that guy because you're not built for it. You don't have the mindset for it. That man's on a timer, and most women understand that. Most women know that. They tell us that. And I dare any woman to refute that. There you go. Chanel puts it bluntly and plain. Now, I don't encourage that with my daughters. No. Your daughters are looking for one of these men. The top 10% in Canada, the top 15% in the United States, the top 20% in the UK. A man who pays the cost to be the boss. And for that, in return, these men want fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive women without question. And if you don't fall into that track, there's the door. But let's continue with Media Man.
Traditional marriage is a woman stays home, she takes care of the kid, and you take care of the household expenses by working. Now, modern is the whole 50-50 dynamic. And let me explain something with this whole 50-50 dynamic. I know there's a lot of women out there that's saying, I'm not doing 50-50 with any man. If I'm doing 50-50 with a man, then we both lead the household. That's stupid. Because let me tell you something. 3 out of 4 married women work. 3 out of 4. Only 1 out of 4 women who are married are able to be stay-at-home mothers. So you...
Did you hear that? This is for the cheap seats. 1 out of 4 women out there, including your daughter Chanel, will be stay-at-home mothers these days. Before, it used to be commonplace. Not anymore. 3 out of 4 women, if they're in a marriage, have to work in some capacity, be it part-time, be it seasonal, be it full-time. They have to work in order to make ends meet. Now again, this would allow for a power struggle in many relationships. This would allow for a lot of negotiation in many relationships. Who will take the lead on many other decisions? That's the question. And would a woman allow for a man, or vice versa, to take the lead for the long term, for the family, if they both earn about the same amount? So if one person earns about $60,000 a year, another person earns a $60,000 a year, are they willing to compromise? Are they willing to make it work? That's the question. That is indeed the question. Now, for most men, that usually doesn't go to a certain way, because a man would want to protect and provide, so therefore earn more money so he can call more shots. Or a woman would literally say, you know what, I don't want to pay so much on of the bills. I don't want to contribute 50-50 to the bills. I'll just put in an arbitrary 20 to 30% while you carry the lump share. Basically, it's what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine scenario with women. Now, a lot of men are getting wise to that. Now, if you're single and if you come into a family on your own without any children, I don't see that being a hard thing to work out. Again, man being there to protect and provide, he'll take most of the decisions. I don't see many women making big decisions in terms of family. They'll let a man lead for his leadership, for his provision, for his protection. They'll let the man make certain types of decisions. However, if a man does not have the financial wherewithal to do that, then he's on borrowed time. This is where the whole ambition argument comes in. If a man's not ambitious, if a man's not a goal-getter, if a man's doesn't work hard enough, if a man's not goal-driven, this is where women assess a man to see if he can protect and provide, more or less provide, and if he doesn't, she's out the door. A man's on a timer. The man is on a timer. We have a few comments. Chanel's on to something here. Okay, so my oldest daughter, her husband and her work for TD Bank. They have bought 2 houses. There you go. Well done. Remotely, it should be a team, no control. Okay, well, it's by committee. Now, again, are they earning comparable salaries? If it is, then it by committee is fine. If it works, it works. If a marriage survives in such a milieu, all the power to her. I would think it should be team no control. It should be team no control. Well, that's what a lot of ladies would say. A lot of ladies would say team no control, because they... The question is, and this is what we'll discuss in a minute. Number one, how much is a man contributing? How much is a woman contributing for this 50-50 sort of bond, 50-50 sort of marriage? Because that's what you're explaining to me, Chanel. If it's a 50-50 sort of marriage, then, she earns about the same. He earns about the same, and they make decisions together. So I would think that they're both about earning about as much, if not they're in the same sort of, working environment. And there you go. She says exactly. So these two are working in the same environment. They're earning about the same. So it's 50-50. If they wish to go on that level, so be it. As long as the woman does not change her stance in terms of her man having to make more in the future. If her man does not have to make more in the future and be ambitious, then all well and good. However, a lot of women change as the years go on. They want a man to earn more. They want a man to be take more responsibility, both financial, in terms of leadership, and in terms of protection. Women's standards change over time. A man can take a woman as she is. Will a woman allow a man to be who he is over a long time period? That's the question. That is indeed the question. But let's continue.
You mean to tell me that those 3 out of 4 women that are working, they're not submissive to their husbands? If you get with a woman, or you start to try and court a woman, and she doesn't understand that 3 out of 4 women who are married work, and she's saying that I'm not going to submit to you if I have to pay half the bills, get rid of her immediately. The reality of today's society is that it takes 2 household incomes to make things work. For the majority of people, the majority of women who are married work. So if you have to pay 50-50 in a marriage as a woman, that has nothing to do with your level of submissiveness with your husband. So you cannot sell to me that these women are just running over their husbands and they're leading the household because they have to contribute to the household. No. And leadership has nothing to do with simply money alone. Most men don't make $87,000 a year to take care of a family. So you need 2 incomes, and that's normal in these spaces. So if you meet a woman or if you hear anybody on some panels talking about, well, I got to be masculine because I'm working, they stupid. And you should leave that woman where she stands. And women.
And this is a question. And I ask you, Chanel, of your daughters, are your daughters submissive to their men? Or do they have a bit of masculinity to their personalities? Because for the most part, men don't want to marry themselves. And most women want a man to be masculine, want a man to be a man of status, a man of means, a man who can protect, a man who can provide, a man who's a prophet, a man who's a leader, a man who rests easily and is masculine. Now, if that's one of your men, ladies out there, if that's who your daughter's married to, Chanel, all the power to him. Because most of these men, I'll say, like he said, they want a woman to be submissive. Can they let a man be a man? That is the burning question. That is the ultimate question. Because what you get in a lot of households, as Media Man has already pointed out, is the fact that you get a lot of ladies, once they have this certain amount of financial access, that they start taking on a masculine role, and they say, okay, well, we're going to do this, and this, and they wish to wrest power from a man. And that doesn't usually go well with them. Especially a traditional husband who you want. Especially a man who rests in his masculine easy. Chanel says, of course, my daughter didn't want her husband's credit card. Well, it's not about the husband's credit card. Who runs the household? That's the question. In terms of major decisions, is a man able to make them? In terms of protection, is a man allowed to do that? In terms of disciplining children, would a man take the lead? Those are the burning questions for most men. Because I'll tell you what, if you go into other cultures, most men, under the same scenarios where a woman works and a man works, guess what? The man is still able to run the household. If you go into a Hispanic community, big time. If you go into an Indian community, huge. If you go into an Eastern European community, big time. If you go into a Middle Eastern community, big time. It's only in westernized cultures, and especially those of my skin color, of my skin tone, and, well, you get some Caucasians as well, where you get this power struggle. Where you get a power struggle. And in those cases, most men don't want to deal with a woman who's going to offer him pushback on a lot of things. So the question remains, would a woman allow a man to be a man? Or is she going to offer pushback on every occasion? Because if that's the case, you might as well say sayonara to the whole relationship. Because it's not going to work. No man wants to date themselves, and no woman wants to rest in her masculine. And if she does, she deserves to be alone. She deserves to be alone. So, that's the thing. That's the key. Yes, you may earn comparable salaries, but who is in control? That's what usually breaks marriages up. Well, finance is number one, but number two, it's usually this power struggle these days, especially between modern women and traditional men, who modern women wish their men to be. Let's continue.
Let me tell you something. Y'all don't have no room to complain because we see the college debt that y'all bring into these relationships. So you going to sit there and trying to complain about going 50-50 with a man?
Going back there.
About going 50-50 that y'all bring into these relationships.
Stop right there. Women who graduate with a bachelor's degree earn $35,000 on average. Just 81% of what a male peer makes. A year after college, women hold title to more than $31,000 in student loan debt, which works out about $307 monthly payment. Does your daughter bring that into a relationship? Do you bring that into a relationship? That's the question. That's the question. Do women bring this student debt into a relationship? Because for the most part, we can't. Men can't do that. We got to get that off the books if we're going to raise a family. Because that's an extra bill. That's an extra bill. We have to wipe that debt off of our copybook. It's true. There it is. Women carry more debt after college. And they expect their man to pay it off. Let alone if you have any kids from a moment of pleasure.
So you gonna sit there and trying to complain about going 50-50 with a man on the bills and he has to protect you and the family? You mean to tell me that you're gonna take care of that responsibility just because you paying 50-50? That's dumb. It takes more than one income to make things work in today's society for most people. And that's where I had to explain the whole Kevin Samuels ideology when he was saying that men don't care about your money. He was talking to the top 10 to 15% of men. Those men don't care about a woman's money. But most men have to care about how much money a woman makes because they're most likely going to need to use it if they get married. And women, you need to understand that. This is not something that's new. It's a privilege to be a stay-at-home mom because most women work. So, women, if you are a stay-at-home mom, understand that only about 1 out of 4 women are able to do that. So if your man is 100% provider, you need to appreciate him a little bit more because you're privileged. Most women won't ever get that. So I just want to be clear on this whole 50-50.
There it is. If you want a man's protection and provision, there's a cost, ladies. because protection costs. You going through this life alone, always having to look over your shoulder and not having somebody look out for you and watch your back and make sure that you and your children are protected at night. That's a privilege. A privilege that only a quarter of my women share. 1/4 in the United States. 27% of women in the United States, you might as well call it a quarter, are married. If you want to be one of those privileged few who are married, who are protected and provided for, who are given leadership, it's a cost to pay to do that. And in order to do that, well, you have to wrest control of the relationship to us. If you want us to run and lead a family, you need to wrest control of the relationship to us. It's okay. Let me say this again. It's okay if you want to have that control, but be expected to be alone. Let me say that for the cheap seats again. It's okay if you want control of a relationship. No problem. But understand, you will be alone if that's the case. You will not be with a man. You will not be with him. And if you do, he's not going to be a man you respect. He's going to be a simp. One you can walk all over. Now, if you want that, free country. Do as you will. Do as you please. No shame. But realize, if a man's going to protect, provide, and lead you, a man of status, a man of access, a man of strength and control, you can't come back and say this is 50-50. Because that's masculine energy that men will immediately, most men that is, the men that you appreciate that they are, will immediately back away from it. They won't take that deal. And as again, if you want a man who agrees to that schedule that you will grow to resent, so be it. You are at liberty and at privilege to do that. But no man of any sort of merit will allow for that. Especially if you want him to protect, provide, and lead for you. Sorry. Not working. And if not, they will go out and find one who adheres to that request list.
50 thing. You guys get it mixed up, and women going out there saying, I got to be masculine because I got to pay 50-50. And that's what's holding you back from marriage? When you know that 3 out of 4 women work full-time when they're married, then you don't deserve to be married. And that's not to sit there and shame guys by saying you're going to need to know how much, or, you're going to have your wife contribute, because that's normal. It's pretty much always been like that, guys. It's always been a privilege for women to be stay-at-home mothers. It's a privilege. So yes, don't take any shame in saying that, hey, yes, my wife is going to have to contribute something. And 9 times out of 10, it's not even going to be straight down the middle, 50-50. But you're going to have to contribute to the household to make things work most of the time. Unless you get a man who makes $87,000 up, he can afford you with a stable life, financially stable life. Y'all can take a vacation probably once a year. You can have 1 kid, and he can most likely take care of you comfortably, making $87,000 a year in the particular state that you live in. But that's not the majority of how these things work. So
we just got a comment here from Chanel. I do get it. I've always been with alpha men, and they loved how I move. There it is. There it is. Because that's what you want. That's what most women want. Most women want alpha men. Go figure. Most women want men who protect, provide, lead. Who rest in their masculine. Who they feel safe with. Who feel a man has things under control, who can take major decisions, and they can rest easy in the fact that he has done so. Nothing new under the sun, despite the fact of 50, 60 years of the women's movement and feminism. And we're going to get to that in a minute. We're going to get there in a minute. We're going to get to that subject in just a second. But that's what most women want. They want a man who's 6'2", who makes six figures, as is seen here, or near to it. They want a man who has status, the man who can protect, the man who is virile and strong, can take major decisions, looks good, dresses well, can take care of himself and his family. While a woman can be there to nurture, can take the time off if she needs to, and raise a family without any sort of number crunching or having to go back to work early. If you want that, if you want those privileges, there is a membership fee. There is a membership fee. And that is for you to be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, and most importantly, submissive. AKA coachable. Sorry, ladies. And more men these days are not taking bad deals. AKA, if you have a child going into this relationship, that is strike one against you. Potentially strike two, because in this day and age where the economies are getting more and more cutthroat, we can't afford for any excess baggage. There it is. He can't have any excess baggage. That's why, for me, I'll never date a woman with children again. Exactly. I get it, but I'm sharing money if things get bad. I'm stealing money if things get bad. Well, but I'm stealing money if things get bad. But here's the thing, right? I mean, if a man is willing to take that on, all well and good, Chanel. If a man is willing to be that individual, so be it. So be it. If he's willing to take that on. But let's say this again. Hold on, let me just connect this thing here quickly before this thing dies out. There we go. All right, we're back. So, yeah. What you need to understand is to have a man to take care of you and your children that are not his is a privilege. It is a huge privilege. Big time privilege. Consider yourself very lucky. And for that, they'll need even more submission from you. They'll need even more submission. You have to give them more control. You have to give them more rights. That's why it's always best for you to marry. Sorry, I'm just smelling my Silver Mountain water I just got today. Sorry. Consider yourself lucky to have that man around. It ain't a right. It is a privilege. And you must not mess around with it. Women always say, oh, there'll be a man as long as I got... No. As long as you got that good. No. That's not working with us anymore. Way too much choice. Way too much variety. And the world is smaller these days. Foreign or domestic, they'll find someone who will find them relatively attractive and allow them to lead. So, it's up to you ladies. It's really up to you ladies. If you want to have a man who can protect and provide, you must be submissive. You cannot go into this 50-50. You cannot say to yourself, oh, we're going to lead as a couple and I'm a boss B and everyone. No. Men of privilege, men of standard men of high value will not take you. Kevin said it, media men saying it, and I ain't saying it. No. Get out of your feelings and govern yourself accordingly. Because if you ain't fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, you're already 2 strikes down. One mistake, and you're out of there. I had to do that with my ex just recently. I had to do it with my ex. I said, you know what? I see the writing on the wall. This is not working out. You gotta go. You gotta go. Because I knew it was coming. I won't get into it, but I knew it was coming. And I was gone. She was gone. Next!
I'm just being honest. So y'all got to understand that when we have these 50-50 conversations, I hate hearing them because people never cite the statistics. That 3 out of 4 women work when they're married. Alpha Omega said, unfortunately, the manosphere created a lot of these false arguments about men paying for submission. Absolutely not. That has nothing to do with it. And women echo that stuff, and it makes them look foolish. If I got to pay, I got to be masculine. Are you dumb? You really think that all these women out here just being masculine, 3 out of 4 women who are married, masculine and not letting their husband lead because they're paying? No. They're married. They're comfortable. They're happy. So stop with all this foolery. Especially if the women who say this, I'm not going 50-50. If you're a woman who say that, you better make sure you're attractive. And you better make sure that you ain't coming with 2 or 3 kids. Or kids alone. And you tell me I'm not going 50-50 with no man. You better be happy with what you can get because the message is getting out. Men are not dating single mothers like that. So you going to sit there and add another stressor to your list by saying you ain't going 50-50 and you got buckaroos and you overweight? Okay, keep that. See what happens.
What did I just say? What did I just say? What did I just say? He just said it himself. Men aren't taking bad deals anymore, ladies. You have killed romance. You have killed the privilege of being a father to a child that is not his anymore. It's gone. It's literally gone. Go bye-bye. You have to be extra submissive. You have to be extra caring. You have to be over and above the bounds of womanhood to entrap a man these days. You got to give him a better deal. Like every now and again, I can have nights off with certain ladies, and if you're bisexual, then those fantasies can be fulfilled on a, how should I say, a bi-monthly basis. Those are the deals you have to give up. Way more. Because I'll tell you something, these single ladies, even Chanel says, single mothers ain't nothing. It's true. Unless they have a family that is there to provide for them and which they don't need a man and they have all their security, all their things covered. Guess what? Guess what? I tell you, I've been saying it for a good few weeks already. 45% of women out there by 2030 will be single and childless. 45%. Add the number of those single mothers out there without a man. And you'll find out about, you're going over 50% of women being without a husband. That's how bad it's going to get within the next 8 years because men aren't taking bad deals anymore. You mess up, you better marry the man you messed up with or you're on your own. Or you are on your own and you better have a family who can back you up. Because if you don't, you're in trouble. You are in deep, 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 deep trouble. Especially in this economy. Deep trouble. I know a woman at work right now in a very, very good job, doing a very, very well for herself, but she's single with child. So guess what? She can barely make ends meet. It takes two incomes to tango in this economy. Without question, without fail. So women, you better choose wisely. And let me tell you something. Those men that you consider in the friend zone right now, you better, you better have second thoughts about them. Or else you will be alone. You want to do bad all by yourself? Fine. Men don't care. If man wants to find a woman, he will find his woman. You are at the disadvantage because you do not have the protection factor. And if you want to leave yourself, but I tell you something. Pressure's meant for shoulders, not for hips. And you'll find out. Keep on living.
Hey, they say women happy single. Enjoy.
Thank you, Media Man, for that. He just had his little last word. But you know what? We're just going to go through a few of these YouTube shorts. And there are a few things here that, that caught my eye here. And this one is from again, this is, let me see. Yes, Whatever, the Whatever podcast. They're doing very, very well. They got about 2 million subscribers. Chanel is giving something. I have a son that will protect me. Well, you have a son, but remember, here's the thing. You don't want a son husband. And what I mean by that is that he is tied to you at the hip for all of your wants and needs, and he's not allowed to spread his wings and go. Kevin Samuels was always warning men about that. Was warning women about that as well. That you want a man who will be able to find his own when called upon. You don't want a son husband who will always be there, because I know a few son husbands. I know a few son husbands who find it very, very difficult to socialize in the public. They have such high restrictions and they have such high standards for women instead of those who can breathe and cook and clean and provide the 3 S's: sex, sandwich, silence. They're like women. I know a few people in my life like that. I'm not saying who, but I do. And let me tell you this. It's not a pretty sight. Tend to be nerdy. Tend to be less than confident. Tend to be, well, a little maladjusted. So you don't want a son that will protect you, because if a son is tied to you at the hip, he may not be able to spread his wings and fly in future. And that's a problem. But getting back to it, we're going to get into this whatever short from YouTube here. And what he says is right. We're just going to have a little word to say about this, and we're going to have a quick discussion about it. Just a second. Before we get into the changing of the tides, ladies and gentlemen, let me just go into that. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. I'm wearing Psycho Bunny tonight, but I'm always sponsored by Duntalk. But let's continue.
Right. The average guy today, his granddad had to put in a quarter of the work to get the kind of woman that is 4 times as amazing as the woman he's attracted. Like his grandmother was an amazing woman and a very, very feminine, natural woman. And his granddad really didn't have to do the kind of work he has to do right now.
So you're talking about hoflation.
Yes, it's hoflation.
Hoflation, so modern men have to work 5 times harder than their grandfathers did for women 20 times worse than what their grandmothers were.
Consider
Let him repeat it.
The average guy today, his granddad had to put in a quarter of the work to get the kind of woman that is 4 times as amazing as the woman he's attracted. Like his grandmother was an amazing woman and a very, very feminine, natural woman. And his granddad really didn't have to do the kind of work he has to do right now.
So you're talking about hoflation.
Yes, totally.
Hoflation, so modern men have to work 5 times harder than their grandfathers did for women 20 times worse.
We're right back here on Instagram to
Consider
discuss
this,
that.
like, the
Still got an hour, still talking. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We are back with part 2 of the discussion on what it takes to be a traditional man financially these days. Well, our first part of the discussion, we discussed what it takes for a man to be financially independent and be a traditional man these days. And in the U.S. household median income is about $87,846, which is which puts a person in the top 15% of the population. Top 15%. A person who earns that much, a man who earns that much, you're in the top 15%. In Canada, that translates to about $116,000, and that puts you in the top 10%. In the UK, it earns about £52,000. That puts you into the top 20%. So it averages out to about the top 15% of men is what it takes for you to be financially independent enough so you can raise a family on your own. To be that high-value / traditional man who is able to allow for his wife to stay at home and take care of the family while you go out and pay the bills. There it is. In a short synopsis. But I wanted to discuss this, we'll play it again. I wanted to discuss this little short from whatever podcast, and it is quite poignant. It is quite telling how things have changed. How, as they say, hoflation has entered into the equation and has made things much worse for modern men today than they did yesterday. So let's continue.
The average guy today, his granddad had to put in a quarter of the work to get the kind of woman that is 4 times as amazing as the woman he's attracted. Like his grandmother was an amazing woman and a very, very feminine, natural woman. And his granddad really didn't have to do the kind of work he has to do right now.
So you're talking about hoflation.
Yes, totally.
Hoflation, so modern men have to work 5 times harder than their grandfathers did for women 20 times worse than what their grandmothers were.
Take that in. In modern society today, for modern men today, they have to work 5 times as hard for a woman who's 20 times worse. As they call it, hoflation. They have to work 5 times as hard, so they have to earn up to that 87,000 US, 116,000 Canadian, 52,000 UK mark for a woman who's 20 times worse. And when I mean 20 times worse, and I'm sure that's what they refer to here, is they have at least 20 bodies on their person before they even meet a man to marry a man. 20 times worse. So that means she has 20 times the bad habits. She's not as pure as she once was. And it has been studied by Fresh and Fit and by many on straw polls. Now, these are not exactly actual polls being conducted. But on average, women usually carry, after their college years, at about the age of 25, 20 to 25 bodies on their person before they find a man. Because as they say, women, it's much easier for women to find sex for men to find sex. However, women are less selective these days. Women are less virginal these days. Women are less pure these days. So it takes 5 times the amount. So it takes you 100,000 Canadian dollars, US dollars, 50,000 British pounds, or 60, let's go there, for a man to find a woman who's 20 times worse. So where does that leave modern men these days? That's the question. You thought men had it bad before. You thought men would have to suffer worse than their fathers and their grandfathers did before. Well, hell yeah, it's worse now. Much worse now. You're dealing with women with more bodies. You're dealing with women with more less habits. You're dealing with women who's fatter. They tend to be fatter these days than before. So they tend to be unfit. They tend to be unfriendly because there's more masculinity to them. They tend to be unfeminine, of course, because of masculinity with them. They tend to be less cooperative because they're making more money these days, so they have more choice unto themselves, and they're choosing to rack up bodies in their whole phases, and they tend to be less submissive. There's the equation. There it is. Let me repeat that. What men have to go through you must earn 5 times more for women who are 20 times worse than their mothers, their grandmothers, and their foremothers. Unfit, tend to be fatter. Unfeminine, tend to be masculine. Unfriendly, resting B-face. Uncooperative, they earn more money, so therefore they have more choice, so therefore they'll write you off for the slightest error, and they lack submission. Yet men are supposed to be traditional and protect and provide, and now you know the terrible story of modern men. This is what we have to deal with. However, you think, we don't need no man, we don't need this, we can be single, independent. But you know what's happening these days, ladies, in this economy, in these days and times where you have to work harder, not only as a woman, as a man, but as a woman as well? You have a certain amount of women. Sorry. Let's try again. I had a female voice there for a second. Cracking voice. You have a certain amount of women who wish to return to normal times. Now, I've featured this on Talk Live before. A woman who is decided and she was a Democrat and she was a feminist and she wants a man to be a traditional man, even though she doesn't want to be a traditional woman. That's a conundrum. And men these days aren't taking that deal because men know that they can be passport bros and go out offshore if necessary, but they'd rather be alone than be with such a woman. They'd rather not date themselves. And now we have more proof of this actual idea. So let's go into it right here. We take this from, I want to make sure I got my sources right. Aludi. I think Aludi has brought this to my attention. Yes, Aludi. Like, subscribe. He's doing wonderful work on these YouTube streets. Let's go. Let's find out what these women are saying these days. They realize that, lo and behold, they really do need a man. Let's go.
Like, oh my God, I can't even imagine not having a career. What would I do all day? Just stay home and try to, like, I could never just be a stay-at-home mom. I agree. Maybe stay-at-home, too far. Stay-at-home wife? Sounds lit. I can't believe I used to truly feel so empowered by being like, I would never let a man support me fully. It took me 2 years in corporate America to be like, yourself. I would love if somebody came in here and took care of me.
When women come to the realization.
Now, here's the thing that's wrong with that. It's the fact that you're not going to find a man who's going to allow you to be a stay-at-home wife and literally not have kids for him. Very rarely would that happen. A man would literally not want to have any sort of, or have any sort of paternal instinct at all for that to happen. And she slipped that in there. She said, oh, stay-at-home mom. Oh, no. She said, no, but I'd rather be a stay-at-home wife. No. Man ain't taking that deal. If you're going to stay home, you're going to be raising some kids. Just letting you know, ladies. You're not going to slip that in there, ladies. You thought she thought she can get away with that, but nah, not with us. Not with most men. Most men, if you're going to stay home, you're going to be raising some kids. Let's go.
That feminism is just a trap and bullshit. They regret it. Some women have this idea in mind that if their husband provides for them, they think that they are owned by him, which is not true at all. Men want their wives to be respectful to themselves and him, and to not give him a headache, and know their role in the household. If men and women know that they are walking into a lot of responsibilities and duties in the marriage life, we would not see this high divorce rate. But anyway, let's continue watching.
I will wash the dishes. I will go to yoga and make my little ass even cute for you. Baby, let's live like we're in the 50s again. That's what I want. I'm over it. I am over it. No, I want somebody with money to come into this. Help a girl out. I'll be a great wife.
I could not agree more.
There it is. That's what ladies want these days. They want a man who could come in and pay the bills. Could take over. They want a high-value man, but they want the top 15%. Kevin was saying it all the time, but women were dancing on his grave when he died. Now he's a martyr. Now what? Now you're in trouble. Now his message is even more amplified. And this is one of his ideas. One day, women will regret feminism, as is seen by this post here by Aludi. Women regret feminism. Feminism was a lie. They thought that women could get ahead via feminism, but what it was just a vehicle to allow women to be more consumers and less orientated to family and end up more alone. Sorry, ladies. Feminism lied to you. Feminism is the postmodern big lie. It is. They thought it would make women further ahead when actually it took you further behind. Especially when it came to men. Men wanted equality, but once you start to get this superiority this superiority adage, and you led with your chest rather than with your qualities and with your abilities and with your availability to a man through cooperation and submission, guess what? Men checked out. Slowly started checking out. And now women are starting to feel it. To a point where now women are regretting it. Women want to return home. They don't want to fight the rat race because they know it's not serving their purpose with men. They thought that if they made more money, they'd make themselves more eligible to men. Not the case. Not the case at all. Not the case at all. It makes you less eligible for men than more. How's that? We'd rather get a girl from McDonald's at the drive-thru than you. Because the more money you make, the less eligible you make yourself for men. It's always been the way. I work at a place where there are many women of high earning, and yet they can't find a man. Sorry.
More with what she's saying. Women can be independent. It's proven that they can. Women can have the education, the career, the house, the car, but at the end of the day, most of us are creatures that cannot live alone. Men and women are meant for each other in my point of view. Now, everybody's different. Some women might just not like the idea of depending on a man, and others prefer to be in the house taking care of their husband and children. And women like this who prefer to to be a housewife get a lot of crap fed into their mindset from the media, their relatives, and their friends. And they got to understand that some of their friends might be jealous or envious of the place that they are in. Their friends might want the same thing, but they can't have it. Or they did have it, but they ruined it. So they start ruining it for other women. Women should be careful from this type of people.
Let me tell you something. You women from the 60s really messed up my life goals. You didn't want to stay at home and clean the house, take care of the kids, have dinner ready for your husbands when they got home from work. That is all I want to do. But no, you thought everyone wanted to be independent. I don't. I don't want to be independent. Now here I am, going to school because I'm ready to go to college and get them a job and education. Women.
More and more women are coming to this realization over time. Feminists.
Right. More and more women are coming to realization over time. They need their men more and more these days, especially in this economy. Especially when there are more foreclosures now more than ever. And I was privy to one just recently. I was privy to an eviction just recently. And who did she cling to? We're not saying that you cannot have a career, ladies, but you must realize that you must have a man in order to have the life you want to live. It's as simple as that. It is very rare, and it is only via inheritance that women can get away with being big baller, shot caller, and yet not having a man. Sorry, it's true. Look at the top 50 to 100 ladies, highest earning ladies in the world. I would say 90 to 95% of them got them through inheritance or through divorce. So through a man. They didn't make it of their own volition, no. Women don't want to work hard. Women aren't built for that. Pressure's not made for shoulders, not for hips. It's true. It's true. Look it up. Look it up. Women can earn, listen, women can succeed in college, absolutely. There are higher enrollments of women than men in college, but at the end of the day, men still out-earn women because they do the dirty, the dangerous, the construction, the utilities, the STEM jobs that move society forward. Women will never do them, even though they incentivize women to go do them. Only a fraction of them ever will. They want clean, non-physical, sedentary jobs. That's women. They want jobs in which they can care and nurture and provide. We've already featured that in Talk Talk Live. Some of the highest earning jobs, like early childhood education, like social work, involve women, like pharmacy, involve women staying in one place at one time, doing one thing, and not having to go out and work hard for a living. Where a lot of the money, or a lot of the danger pay lies. So now they're regretting it. They realize that, oh shoot, I do need a man. Yeah, you do. But you know who realizes this the least? The one with the most testosterone in our eyes, and that is black women, unfortunately. Unfortunately. They bit the feminist apple to its core. And now only a quarter of them are married.
Is not favoring or benefiting either the woman or the man in life. Chasing a degree is cool and all that if you want to have your own money. But men do not look at a woman's income when they want to get in a relationship with her. In fact, it is the last thing any successful high-status men look at. Men tend to always be the provider and the protector of the family. It's just men nature. We are hardwired like that. As for what this girl said, I think that in this day and age, women have the choice to be independent or a housewife. But I think the choices for them are narrow into a downtrend with time. Because men are also coming to the realization of these modern delusional feminist women that have a ridiculous requirement for a man to even be with her or ask her out. They want a man over 6 foot and make 100k plus a year. You are basically fighting for the 1% men who wouldn't even take you seriously if you get a chance with him. I'm not even going to bother with those other delusional requirements. I'm just going to let this clip play for you guys to see how delusional women's standards are.
You black females, y'all getting a little bit too cocky and picky. My cousin just got turned down by shorty he liked, cause she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but you ain't 6'5" and you don't got a nice jawline." What the f*** you need with a nice jawline for? What, you wanna watch some Jewish food? This fucking is 6'5". You ain't even 5 foot. What you gonna suck his knees? But since you wanna be so picky, let's undraw your eyebrows, let's take your weave out, let's take your makeup off, and when we got Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent looking pumpkin for your picky ass.
Of course, when men say stuff like this to women, they don't like it because it's the truth. Most women cannot handle
I didn't
the
catch
truth.
that. Wait a minute. I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that part. I really didn't catch that part. That's the first time I saw that, but it's true. It's true. When I was at All White yesterday, I saw hundreds of women just like that description, who wanted that description of man right there. 6'5", some sort of basketball player, some sort of, with hazel eyes and tan skin and all this other stuff. Something that they will never, most of them, 99% of them will never get. Who earns about, $2 million a year. Most of these women will not get the top 1% of men. They will never do that. They will never get it. They'll never get it. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. It is far better that you bank on a man who's going to be there, who can protect and provide and be dependable in doing it, than trying to win the lottery. Because that's what it is. It is trying to literally win the lottery. And you know what? Yeah, that leads to a lot of losers. Now, if you want to be a loser, ladies, and want to be a loser in life, yay, all the power to you. All the power to you. But guess what? Men are getting wiser, and more ladies are going to be alone. Just saying.
As much as they say, we just want the truth. But when the truth comes out, they think it's offensive. So if you say the truth, it's a bad call. If you didn't say it, it's a bad call. But personally, I rather say the truth as it is. I do not care if you get offended. I'm going to be as honest as possible with you from the get-go. And then you have the choice to stay or leave. Because I'm always removing myself from any toxic relationship with any woman. It becomes tiring and exhausting at the end of the day. I rather waste my energy doing something else that will benefit me in the future. That's me personally. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.
And that's the truth. A lot of men are just taking off and just saying, you know what? Well, in order to achieve anything in life, men have to be alone. They can't have a woman by their side. That's the truth. Because women can be distractions. Women can be drains on resources. That's why a lot of women, most women, wait till the finish line to find a man. I mean, there are certain women who are supportive of a man, who help men reach their dreams. All the power to them, but a lot of women, you know what? They check out. They do. They want a man to lift the load, and once he gets to the top of the hill, then take them on. As I said, women don't build, they move in. As Myron has said. Shout out to Fresh and Fit. Women don't build, they move in. That's the truth. Show me a woman who builds, and I'll show you a woman who's very, very rare indeed.
She's insane.
They always think that you are insane when choosing that lifestyle, but don't put someone else's standards on your life that you chose. I do believe and I'm convinced that woman thinks it's shameful to admit. Even some women in the comments are agreeing with what she's saying. Sophie said, I literally just want to be a stay-at-home mom and take care of my kids in the best way I can. I have no desire to work a regular job anymore.
What does that mean, ladies? You want to be nurturers? You want to be mothers? You want to be carers. That's what you're good at. That's what you're really good at. So why trying to go after this feminist dream? When feminists themselves were married. When feminists themselves, the early feminists, were there to care and nurture their kids. I ask you. Now, certain women aren't built for this sort of thing, and that's all well and good. You know what? We just celebrated Pride, and, they can go their way now. Pride's done. Anyway, happy Pride. Nonetheless, for those who end up in 95% of the population, well, I'd say 94% of the population, those being heterosexual, CIS, gendered individuals, male and female, especially those females, they want to stay with a man who will protect and provide. And they stay home and mind the children. They're slowly coming to that conclusion once again. Everything old is new again. Everything that was laughed at 20 years ago, not laughed at anymore. Not when you need a man in your life. I was seen by that last comment. And seen right here by Courtney. People used to laugh at me when I said this while I was pursuing my 2 masters. I'm home now raising my 2 baby girls, fulfilled. That's what gives women fulfillment. Being at home, raising a family, building a life. That's what builds your legacy. That's what gives you your financial independence and generational wealth. By being a husband to a man who can protect and provide. It's always been that way and it'll always be that way. The only difference is here, for the most part, women have to be a part of that dream. They have to be a part of that provision. But as always, men will have to provide that protection. And for that, we ask for your submission. You getting it? Provision minus protection equals submission. Little equation. Let's say it again. Provision minus protection equals provision. One more time. Provision minus protection equals submission. You have to allow for your man to lead if you want to be protected and given that generational wealth you always wanted, that comfortable life you wish to pursue, allowing you to raise the children that you want, as this lady pursuing her masters is doing. You can have it both ways, ladies, but you have to submit, just letting you know.
Courtney said, people used to laugh at me because I said this while I was pursuing my masters. I'm now home raising my 2 baby girls. Some of your friends can be jealous and envious of your position because they want to be what you are. You need to be careful about who you bring into your life. Don't listen to anything and everything. We all know what is good and bad for us. We just like to pretend that we don't know. All appreciate it if a woman took care of the house duties and he pays you $2,000 a month. I don't know about that. I'm not here to knock everything that you do for the household, but don't say that he doesn't appreciate you for doing that. If he didn't appreciate you, he wouldn't pay you or stay in a relationship with you. What do you think, guys? I mean, it's a pretty fair and good deal, to be honest. I'm not sure why she is complaining.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
That is man nature, as I said. We will provide for you and protect you if you are a good woman. No question asked. But you have to understand your duties and responsibilities also in the household. That's all that man wants. A woman that can take care of the house duties for him. Most men, when their women say that she doesn't want to work and want to be a housewife, that would be the happiest day in their life. I'm just saying.
There it is. She just wrote the equation out. I'll rewind it back for you. There it is. Then we're going to get out of here. Where is it there? There you go. Perfect
And make
example.
sure it sound
Retire work, I'll provide. This woman wanted to stay at home and be a mother to their children. He said, retire work, I'll provide. I'll provide for you to do what you need to do. If a man has the financial wherewithal to do it. That's the only way he can say, retire work, I'll provide. Or he has a way of doing that. For the most part, a lot of women can't do that. It ain't good. Being in that position as a wife, being in that position as a mother, it's a choice if you wish to work as a woman. It is a choice. It is an elective. For us, it's compulsory as men, but for women, it's elective. It is literally elective. And if you wish to be submissive, that elective is allowed to you. If you show us how you can add to our lives to make things easier, yes, we'll offer the answer that we show here on Talk Live. Retire work, I'll provide. Sure. We will go out and make that extra money just so you can stay home. Absolutely. I'm sure men will get second jobs for you to stay at home so that you can work. So that you can raise our children. See, that's one thing you ladies aren't getting. Men will go out and work 2 and 3 jobs so that you can stay home and take care of kids. Men have it within them to do that if they reach certain health markers. But yes, men will do that. Will you do that, ladies? You'll do it for your children, but for your man now? Oh. Let's not go there. Let's finish up here.
I'm glad that more and more women are coming to this.
Let's go back to that. That was missed.
That would be the happiest day in their life. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That little caption tells it all. Single women keep women single. I've been privy to that. I've been very privy to that in my life. However, there are those women who will try again to have you leave your station as a wife. To leave your position as a wife. They'll try and do it. And again, they'll stay by the sidelines. I'm tired of cooking for my husband, so they want to give up. So, they want to be like their divorce or side chick friends. Because remember, single women keep women single. I keep saying this. Misery loves company. They'll try and influence you, say, oh, you don't need a man. You can find someone else. You don't want to be in these streets as an older lady. You do not want to be in these streets. You do not want to be covered in these streets. You do not want to be divorced or a side chick or a baby mama. You don't. Not in these streets, not today. So, chance it if you can and think that I can do bad all by myself. But I keep saying this, there are a lot of horror stories out there for you. Instead of a woman who sticks it out, cooks and cleans, and realizes that she is protected and she'll be provided for on a daily basis. Chanel is back. She says, and if my husband allows a woman to steal him away, I don't want to. But here's the thing. Okay, good. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad that's a good question. Here's the thing. you, as a woman, if you protected and provide, sorry, not protected and provide. If you were fit, feminine, fairly cooperative, submissive, chances are he won't leave you. Not to say that he won't have flights of fancy, that he may just have a bit of temptation. Because listen, every woman wants an alpha male. A man who can protect, provide, and be faithful to them. Chances are, if you have one of these men, consider yourself very, very, very lucky that he doesn't have other women on the side himself. But he comes home to you. Your name is on the deed. Your car keys are in your hand. Your wardrobe is filled. Your refrigerator is full. That's the sort of payback you receive for being a faithful woman. Being a woman who is ever present for your husband. He'll always come back to you. Just adjusting the mic. He'll always come back to you. Now, if you want to let things go and go back out into the streets, fine. The only problem is he'll be able to find someone else. Especially if he's a good earner. He'll be able to do it. He'll do it. It's happened in my life. He'll be able to do it. Tell me I can invite the threesome. Sorry, not sorry. Here's the thing. Here is the great thing about that. A lot of men are thinking like you. A lot of women are thinking like you these days. They are. And a lot of men are taking that bait, believe me. The bisexual lady bait. You see, in those capacities, in those confines, more often than not, a man will stick around. Yeah. There's a great chance of a man sticking around. Now, not to say that a man will, find the odd occasion to do it on his own, but more often than not, 90% of the time, and that's a good point that you say there, Chanel, it's, man will definitely take that deal. The bisexual deal that you may offer, yeah, absolutely. I was involved in such a relationship. I'll tell you something. It was one of the best relationships I've ever been in. Didn't have to stray, didn't have to walk. If I felt the temptation, she would provide certain membership advantages. And if that's the case, every now and again, you know what? Every quarter, let's say, a man ain't gonna leave you. A man won't stray. That's why a lot of men would take that deal. And a lot of women who are bisexual tend to choose men. You know why? Because the gender roles are pretty much defined. They're pretty much straight down. A man who he is, a woman knows she is. You're not going to get this lesbian thing where nobody knows who to pay the bill for, and then if they get angry, they just start beating each other up because they see each other as physical equals. No, the bisexual. Listen, the bisexual idea is catching on these days. It is very much catching on. Very, very much catching on. And that's why, and again, we talked about this on Talk Live a couple weeks back, in the fact that, yeah, they talk about down low men. No. More women are down low than men. More women identify as part of the pink mafia than men do. It's true. It's true. No, girl. No. Okay, here's the thing. We don't get jealous if we are participating. The comment was raised on YouTube here that, let me just see if I have all my people on YouTube here. And we're going to stop the show in just a bit. There's a little question and answer here anyways. The question was asked, the girl situation, guys get jealous. Not if he's participating. Hell no. If a man's involved, nope. Nope. No chance of that. Nope. No. Let it be said, that will not happen. Chanel, believe me. Take it from me. It will not happen. It won't happen. Definitely not. Definitely not. Oh no. No. We won't get jealous. No jealousy. A man is jealous of that sort of situation. He needs to have his head checked. Because those two are there for him. And if a man gets jealous of that, I don't know what to say. I literally don't know what to say about the guy. I can't understand. What? How? Here's the thing. Let me tell you something, Chanel. That is every man's fantasy. That's every man's fantasy. Girls fall bad. Listen, no. Good for men. Good. Men, listen, great for men. Great for men. Taking on both sides here on YouTube and on Facebook and on IG. It's great for men. Yeah, you're making me laugh. Of course you're making me laugh. Why would a man get jealous at that sort of situation when it's girl on girl? The only way he gets jealous if it's girl on girl is if a man is asked to leave the room. And men don't usually get kicked out of it. If a man is not, have simpish tendencies, he's not getting kicked out the room. He's not getting kicked out the room. Hell no. I've been there, and I was never kicked out the room. Never. And again, let me say this to all the ladies out there. We're getting a bit off track, I understand, but this is something for you. If you have that in your back pocket, use it to your advantage. Because chances are, men are much more prone to stick around in those circumstances. Without question. Without fail. They're much more prone to stick around if you have that sexual advantage in your back pocket. Yep. I said it. Yep. I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if I go down such a road again in future. Because you're getting the best of both worlds. You're not only getting a woman who's straightforward, down to earth, being fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, but also, if temptation arises, she could bring the party to you. That's an absolute bonus. That's a huge bonus. Huge bonus. You say it happens so many times to you, my dear. I listen. I don't know why you're not married right now. I really don't know. I really don't. Oh, okay. Well, listen. That's a personal thing, and I'm not going to get into it. But at the end of the day, that is a huge advantage. Huge advantage. Huge. To any man. Huge. You have that in your back pocket. Oh. Men have to think twice. Twice. Not only is he getting the meanest pancakes in the world, he's getting the meanest peas in the world. You get the meanest peas and pancakes? On demand? Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's an option. That's an option. But again, certain men won't take that option. Certain men will, want to shy away from that. And hey, to each their own. You know what I mean? Some guys just like being solo, like doing solo dolo. But at the end of the day, for me, oh Lord, for a lot of men, oh goodness gracious. I would say for the majority of men, they take that option on. Absolutely. Absolutely. What? Okay. Wow, that's interesting. That was very, very, very interesting. Okay, well, listen, I'm not going to reveal that last comment right there because, again, that is something that has to be discussed in private conference. We got another caller in there with another comment there. And we're going to leave it there. So thank you very much for joining me Talk Live. But let me sum up before we go there. And Chanel, I will speak to you later about that comment, that last comment, definitely about that last comment. But anyways, yeah. So here's the deal. Here is the deal, ladies and gentlemen. To catch a traditional man, to be a traditional man these days is hard. It's harder still. It's harder still these days to be a traditional man. I gotta stay focused here. You need to have 87,000 American, 87,846 American, 116,000 roughly Canadian, and about 52,000 British pounds, about 62,000 euros to be a man to carry a family in the Western world. Point blank, period. That only equates to about 15 to 20% of men in the world today. That means that's the top 20% of men. That's the whole adage of women only see the top 20% of men being attractive to them. That has adage to it. Of course, there are certain other things as well, but women on the whole consider 80% of men as unattractive. They do. They just do. So, what we want to say here is that this man is a rare man. And women, you may have to contribute to that man's protection and provision in order to make a life for yourself, to make a life that's comfortable for each other. And at the end of the day, in order for you to give of yourself and become a part of the marriage and be a part of the provision, yet if you cannot provide protection in that relationship, then you're going to have to give some submission up to that man. It's as simple as that. It's very difficult to make your way in this world today, especially in an economy that is becoming more and more bear-like these days. And we just want you to understand, ladies, that men aren't taking bad deals anymore, and men realize that in order to be the men they have to be, we expect a certain amount of submission on your part to make things work. A bit of control to make things work in this world. And we need you to understand that. The world needs you to understand that. The Western world needs you to understand that. So all these delusional ideas, when it comes down to it, fall on deaf ears to men. If you're not willing to fall into our plan and get on our program, chances are we will find a woman who will, and we will curve you. And that strong independent stuff, we have already proven, is starting to fall by the wayside these days, ladies. And it's up to you to understand that and realize that traditional provider men who are the top 15% don't need you. They don't. They want you, but they don't need you. And they will move on to the next one if you don't fall onto their prophetic plan. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. It's 10 o'clock. We're going to lock off shop right here. And we're going to move on. And we'll be back tomorrow night with another show. I promised you 3 shows. I promised you 3 shows this week. And we're going to get into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Back downtown for work and other things. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Live on IG and YouTube. Sponsored by Dontalk, DONTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, ladies. Listen, as I said, it's the old equation. Provision without protection equals submission. That's for you to make what it will with it. Because without a man, this is what it comes down to, ladies. Especially if you want to get a man of your own. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live, especially to our ladies out there. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live, sponsored by Dontalk, DONTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we'll speak to you soon. Good night from Toronto. Wow. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live on YouTube, and we'll be back tomorrow with another show, sponsored by Dontalk, DONTALK.com, and we'll see you